So best relationships. Okay, so I had two different like thinking points of best relationships. Did you do relationships like couples or did you do relationship as in friends?
I did couples.
Cool, because I did so too. Yes.
So for my first one, top 5 best relationships, it is Yutaka and Minoru from Our Dining Table. That like one recently finished. And I really, really liked it. I thought they had a really healthy, cute relationship. They like helped each other heal. They depended on each other. I've also read the manga, so I think that affects my rating because the manga is very cute and like spoiler alert, they end up like moving in together and raising Tane together as their child. And like they just have a beautiful ending, a beautiful story, like a beautiful journey. And it's so good. So I put that as number 1.
Yes. I haven't finished it completely, but oh my god. It's so cute. I can't get enough of their like relationship. I can't get enough about the little kid. Oh my god.
It's so good. And like even though they didn't like they adapted to the from the I don't know if you've read the manga.
No, I have
But they
not.
adapted it like pretty well, and where they chose to end it because I don't know if they wanted to like for some reason they didn't like do the exact ending where they chose to end it. Since you haven't seen it yet, it was so they did a very good ending. The ending is very good.
My number 1 might be so on the nose that you're like, oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I put the Consent Kings, Dean and Palm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let me explain because I know some people are like, oh, but there's some scenes that are like unhealthy. But like, let's be real here. Dean at one point was possessed by Korn. So
yeah.
I don't think that Souls
If they try to use that kissing scene, they can't because that wasn't Dean.
I don't know how to even explain the relationship because it's so complex in the whole storyline and everything. If you just take it of just them two, their relationship was so healthy, so amazingly cute, so fresh. Even though there was a lot of traumatic stuff happening, I absolutely love them. Your number 2?
My number 2 is Bai Lang and Jin Ju-an from My Teeth Your Love. I feel like they had a really, really good relationship. Like they each had their own personal like struggles from the past. Like they each had their own traumas, and that's very true and real in the real world. Like you're never gonna find somebody that has like that is perfect and that has no damage from history at all. You know what I mean? Unless you're with a child and then you have bigger problems. But like everybody's gonna have a little trauma. But in their relationship, they were able to like heal each other with their feelings for one another, and it helped them become better people. And that's kind of what a relationship is supposed to do.
I just love the fact that like a relationship can do that. So my second one, I actually surprised myself that I put them on this list. They were very supportive and like their growth was so like amazing to watch. And it is Cypher and Zorn.
Okay.
So
okay, I can see why. They have like one of the most beautiful lovemaking scenes with like the crying and like the like talking and yeah.
I don't know, it's so healthy and like it's so cute. You really don't get that a lot, especially in like Thai BLs. Like you don't get like something like you love this person so much that you're like crying. You see them just.
They took their time like with each other in their relationship, and they went at a speed that they were each comfortable with.
Yes, and I kind of wish that like if only COVID wasn't in the way, how much it would have been different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, your next one?
It's Tyne and Sarawak from Together the series and Still Together. Like I know some people really hate that show. I'm like, I'm not gonna like everybody has their own opinion. I can understand why, because there's no like explicit scenes, there's no real intensity, there's just like really cute fluffy flirting. It's kind of aggressive flirting from Sarawak, but like it's a fluffy show. I really liked the show. I think they had a really cute relationship. They all like Sarawak also took his time and like he wooed Tyne, and he didn't like pressure him and like push himself on him, even though he had a crush on him for so long. And like
I feel lucky enough that in that point in time when I was watching the show that it was just right for me. It's what I wanted. And then did you see like their little like I don't know if it was like a fan meet or whatever, but they were together like
yeah.
I'll insert it somewhere in here like
put it here.
I guess for my next one, so I picked this couple based on more of their respect and caring for each other. Game Boy, Gav and Cairo. For the time, their relationship is like so understandable. Gav was able to like help Cairo in so many levels, like emotionally supportive wise. Also, he was very, very respectful towards Cairo, especially towards like more of the rawer moments of the show. And that's the reason why they are on my list. Perfect example of like soulmates meeting like online.
Yeah, which is hard to do.
Next one for you.
Okay, so my number 4. So this one is one of the ones that isn't necessarily the healthiest relationship. Like they definitely have their problems, and that's Leo and Fiat from Don't Say No.
Oh,
Yeah. So I have them on this list because I know that like Fiat has like his issues and he has some stuff, but like he was abused as a child. So like as much as he did some stuff, I don't 100% blame him. Same as Leo. Like Leo understands him. I love the relationship because like they do genuinely love each other, almost to a fault where they don't feel good enough for one another, and they just want the other one to have like the best possible partner that they can have, because they just want the best for the other person, and they're there for each other and understanding, and like they're there for each other through the other person's faults. Like Fiat has a lot of problems and a lot of like things that he needs to mature with, but Leo's there no matter what and understands him no matter what, because he knows Fiat. He just knows him. And I think that's so beautiful. Like not all relationships are perfect, and like you can really love each other and still have problems, but it's if you overcome those problems and like trust in your love for that other person that you'll like persevere, and that's what like real love is supposed to be. So I have them on their list because of that.
I think what also helped them in their relationship is because Fiat and Leo knew each other since like childhood. It gave you a sense of like, oh, understanding, a bond, a commitment to each other. I wasn't expecting him on the list. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So my next one, because it's Cherry Magic.
Oh, See, this is the one I thought was gonna be on like everybody's list, but mine it was like further down, but it's further down on yours too, so I feel validated. It's okay.
Yes. I don't know how to say their names. Do you know how to say their names?
Adachi and Kurosawa.
Yes. So Adachi and Kurosawa. I was thinking long and hard about this because I was like, yeah, I can totally see their relationship, their whole dynamic. The fact that he was so concerned about hearing other people's thoughts that I don't know how to explain it any better, but just to watch the show.
Yeah.
You'll understand by just watching the show.
Yeah. And the movie. The movie's so good. It's such a good continuation.
Your next one.
Okay, so this is number 5, right?
Yes, you're number 5.
So my 5th one, I'm actually surprised this one ended on my list because it's not, I don't dislike this show or this couple, but like this pairing in this show is not really like my favorite, but it somehow ended up on my list, and that's P and Mork from Fish Upon the Sky.
Oh,
I do like this show.
I like the show too,
but I wasn't expecting them to end up on my list. But when I sat to make this list, I was thinking like about their entire dynamic and their relationship and how it started and ended and all the in-betweens, and they have a really good relationship. Like Mork loved P even before he had his transformation. He loved him for who he was, and even after, like even when P was going through his like self-doubt and stuff, Mork was there for him and understood that he had like some self-love issues, but he like tried to help him come out of that and like realize it doesn't matter what anybody else says. I like you. And they like helped each other. Like P kind of helped Mork become a better person in a way after he fell in love with P. Like his love for P kind of helped make him a better person, and Mork's love for him helped P transform into a better person. So it's another example of one of those where like they helped each other become better, and like their love for each other strengthened them individually as well as together.
I'm surprised it's on your list. I completely forgot about the relationships. I'm not gonna lie. My next one, I think I did it more on how pure and sweet it was. So I have solo and guitar.
Okay, yeah.
I think the fact that solo needed support and like Guy was the person that like was able to help. And the fact that Guy was willing to do so much for Solo just for like approval from his like dad.
I love the whole like premise of that show, like them loving each other so much that it's like the oxygen that they breathe and they suffocate without one another. Like that adds like just another level of like longing that they need each other, and it makes it so beautiful that they love each other so intensely that that's what they like equate it to, is like their oxygen.
Yes. Oh my god, the song's amazing. I said in the last video. I got how many videos it was ago. And then honorable mention time. Rapid
Okay.
fire. Are you ready?
Yeah. So my first one is Tele and Poon from Vice Versa. And then my next one is Pran and Pat from Bad Buddies. My next one is also self-explanatory. It's Adachi and Kurosawa. And then my last one, I was gonna put it higher up, but they're just so young. I absolutely adore High School Romance. But when I think of like best relationships, I also think of longevity, and like they're just so young and impulsive, and a lot of them I don't know if they last if I really think about it. So I put it's Takeda and Amagi from Takeda-kun and Amagi-kun.
Okay, so my list, as I said earlier, is consisting of friendships and not relationships. So I call them the stoplight crew.
Yep, the trio.
So, and then I got Radiant Sky. And then the last one I have is Step by Step's friendship group that they have,
Aww.
friends.
Yeah.
Best cinematography. I'll go first. And I feel like it would be a sin not to start off with this, because I put the show that feels like old money. Can we say Kin Porch?
Oh, okay.
So I think when I started watching Kin Porch, the first thing that like stuck out to me was the trailer and how good the cinematography for the trailer was. And there's some parts in that trailer that I was like, ooh, spicy. And then going on and like going to see the actual like final production quality. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. The lighting, the shadows, the colorations of like greens and reds and blues and purples, and just using the colors on like natural skin. It's so amazing.
And they use the colors as like symbolism too.
Especially for Vegas and Pete.
Yeah.
The fact that I read through symbolism through colors just because I know more.
I watched a whole breakdown video of like what all the colors like meant for Vegas's mental state.
Yes, I wanted to watch that video, but I feel like I was already sucked in so much that I was like, if I watch any more, the Luluville's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yes. Honestly, the reason why I called it like old money feeling, it feels like old money.
It does.
Feels very mafia.
It feels elegantly powerful.
Yes. That's what I was trying to get at. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Okay, so my number one is The Untamed. I think this show is so beautiful. You can literally pause it at any time and it looks like a painting. Like, and they do like subtle nuances, and like they'll like show one thing for like a split second, and that thing will come up again later on in the show, and you didn't even know it was significant. It was just like in the background, but it shows up and is important later on, and it was actually a clue, like, you know, like an Easter egg that they had planted earlier on in the like show. They were just so clever, and they so beautiful with the way they shot everything.
My number two, I picked this one because it felt like the way they filmed it was more of a paradise, very sunny, very raw. I Told Sunset About You.
No one's gonna get mad at you for putting that as your number two.
I'm just saying, because I honestly could have been number one as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So yes, I think the fact that I think it needed to be so. It felt relaxed, but not too relaxed. It felt shiny, but not too shiny. It felt raw, but not too raw.
It almost felt like a vlog, or like we were like their best friend, like their third best friend that was invisible, like in the room with them, because
Mhm.
everything felt so personal and
Yeah.
so real. Okay, so my number two, I've talked about this many a times, and it's always for this reason, usually the cinematography, and that's 180 degrees longitude passes through you. I feel like I always talk about this one, and it's cinematography because it's so beautiful. And I have it as number two. It's shot incredibly beautiful, but one of the bigger reasons I have it as number two is because the way that it's shot has meaning to the story. So like they'll shoot certain props and items in a certain way to send a subliminal message to the audience without physically having to say it in the show. So like a good example, there's like two really big ones I can think of. One is when they're in the bedroom, they have like one of those dividers that you change clothes behind, and they'll shoot like head on, so that the divider's in the middle and one character's on one side and another character's on the other, and it's showing that like there's a divide between the two, and then one will slowly pass it onto the others into the other space when they get closer and more comfortable with each other. And like there's another one where there's a bridge and it's broken, and the characters helping the other one fix it, and like there's shots of them like getting closer and closer to the edge and finally walking over it, and like the way that they shoot it is part of the show in and of itself. Like it has its own message. So I put that as number two.
This one I put because I feel like it's on par with all the other dramas out there. It is, I should say, all the other K dramas that are out there. I put Semantic Error.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Semantic Error was the biggest leap from what it was versus what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I shouldn't say the cinematography was ever bad with any of the KBLs, but this one felt more purposeful.
They were less afraid to like make it high quality.
Yes.
Proud of it.
And the fact that they were able to do that, like be fearless in the making of this show. And
especially with two K-pop idols as their two main leads.
Yes.
Because that could have went bad real fast.
I think it was, I don't want to say the first one, but the first big one where two idols came together and we're like, we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, a lot of other idols have done BLs.
Mm-hmm. We had like A Shoulder to Cry On, and we had...
There's Tinted on You.
Yeah. I mean, never mind. There was another one, but it slipped my mind.
There's so many now that I'm like, oh yeah, like, true. So yeah, I guess Kissable Lips.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Color Rush. My number three, we've talked about it before, but it's never been on one of my lists. It's on your list, and it's Kin Porsche. It's my number three. I think it was shot very beautifully. I love the way they shot it. I loved all the natural lighting, and we got to see the boys with their caramel skin, and it was so beautiful. And all of the location shots were incredible, and the like lighting and editing, whatever, they like everything was so crisp, and it was very good.
Yes. I'm so happy for you. I mean, yes. I have an unhealthy addiction to Kin Porch, and I need to get off of this like roller coaster ride that I'm on
Mm-hmm.
with Kin Porch, because I think about it, I'm just like, oh man. And the fact that I really I want a season 2. I want one so bad.
I'm so mad they never came to America for a concert. I wanted tickets so bad.
I would die. I would die live.
I'm sad and happy they didn't have Kim Porsche didn't have a concert here, because if they did, I would have fainted. I don't know. My voice definitely would have been gone.
And over here just simping over Vegas. I guess it's my turn now?
Yeah, number 4.
Number 4. When writing my number 4 down, I have a whole bunch of parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the only thing I put for this is rich. I put parentheses rich. And it's the lovely, the beautiful, the cute cutie pie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to say too much about it, because literally it's cutie pie. If you haven't watched it, It's so good. It's so good. I can't get over it. The fact
I
that
love the way they shot their love scenes for both relationships. It was very romantic.
mhm. I felt very soft too in
Hmm.
those moments where things were
Even like, I can't remember their character names. Oh, yeah, I can't remember the character names, but Z and News characters, they every time they had like a spicy scene, it was spicy, but it also still felt romantic. It didn't feel vulgar. It didn't feel too smutty or too sexy. Like some of the scenes were like, oh, but it still felt romantic. You could still feel the love underneath the lust.
I feel it was classy. It wasn't
Yeah.
like Kin Portugal was dirty type of
Yeah. A little
where
gritty.
yes, where Cutie Pie was more of a classy, elegant, again, old money, but more on the cleaner side.
Yeah. For my number 4, I put The Eighth Sense. I really liked this drama. It kind of I was expecting it to be good because all the Korean BLs that have been coming out lately have been top notch and they've been incredible. But for some reason, compared to like all the other ones have been shot really, really well. Korean BLs are all shot phenomenally. But this one, like the cinematography just kind of jumped for a second. And like it was so beautiful and there was so like they played with color really well. The editing was really different. Like the opening sequence with the music, they had
Mhm,
like a musical opening sequence, like to an anime almost, and it was so beautiful,
mhm.
and almost artsy. Like the whole show was shot very artsy, very art style, and I liked it. I was number 4.
We have a cat and a dog. Cat and dog.
Mhm. Both of our animals are like, attention for me now.
Yes, attention, attention. I give you attention a lot.
This is my cat Yip.
Oh, this is Ace.
Yip is named after Avatar: The Last Airbender. For Appa, when you say Yip Yip, that's why I named her Yip.
See, I was obsessed with Taman, so Ace for
Hmm.
South. My next one was or is, I should say, The Untamed.
Hey,
I feel so bad for having this so low on the list, but I think I love
everybody has their like aesthetic choices.
yes. The real reason why I put this on the list is because of all the details. Like I'm a stickler for details. You said it
Hmm.
earlier how there was a whole bunch of like is a picturesque basically.
Yeah.
I love all of that, but I'm a stickler for detail. Like if you have something like in the background and it doesn't mean to be there and it doesn't mean anything, then why have it there? But like
Hmm.
in that show, it means something. It
Hmm.
even if it doesn't look like it means anything, there's still a reason why it's there.
Hmm.
I just love the fact that like the way they filmed the details with that and every
It
it's all
was so Yeah, it was so complex. I mean, even the writer, the fandom, they put meaning and like thought and lore, like Chinese mythology and folklore behind everything. So everything was very purposeful.
mm.
My number 5 is another Korean one, and that's Blooming.
Oh god.
This is another one. It kind of mixes. There's another one, the very last one on my list of like at the my very last honorable mention, and I feel like it's a mix of that one and the Eighth Sense. Blooming is, and it's because it's shot like very artistically, and there's a lot of meaning behind the coloring, but at the same time, it feels very raw, which is how the last one on my list feels, and that's why it's on. I'm sorry, that's why it's on there. I just smacked my cat in the face. But one of my favorite shots from Blooming is actually their love scene, where all you can see is their silhouettes cast against a dark blue background.
Mm.
And it's so beautiful and it was so well done because they didn't show anything, but they showed so much and it felt so intimate and it felt so close. And I loved it.
Yes. Okay. That out of without said. honorable mention time.
Yeah.
So I have Not Me, and
Mhm.
then I have A Tale of a Thousand Stars. I put refreshing.
Mhm.
And then I have, it would be a sin for me not to say this again. We have Until We Meet Again.
For my honorable mentions, I have Never Let Me Go. And then after that, this is almost for the same reason. It's Tale of a Thousand Stars. And then after that, I have I Told Sunset About You.
Yes.
And then my last one is Ocean Likes Me.